Okay, hello everybody and welcome to another League with Jund. Don't think there's too much change since the last one where we managed to get the 5-0. I think I've added a Croxer in place of a Scavenging Ooze, just quite liking Croxer at the moment. Messed around with sideboard a little bit, a few extra anti-Heliod, anti-Prowess cards. But yeah, let's jump straight in, I think. Hope everyone's doing well today. Nice to see a couple more people have subscribed to the channel. Always good to see that people are enjoying the content. So please, if you are, do consider subscribing, and do let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see more or less of. And as always, well up for discussing any plays or blunders I've made in the course of the league. So yeah, for those that haven't seen any of the channel videos before, I play a lot of mid-range Magic, mostly Modern, Jund, Abzan and Rock. Also the occasional Death Shadow video, which I hope to put out some more of soon. Currently testing for there's another super qualifier on this coming Friday, hoping to improve on we went 5-4 with Abzan last time, so not the best, not the worst, but it was good enough for, I think, top 64. But yeah, so doing some testing for that. Going to be playing some sort of BGX deck. But yeah, not sure which one. Leaning towards Rock at the moment. Rock feels pretty good, but we'll see. Okay, so we're against Obosh, which is an aggressive deck. We're on the draw. I don't think we can keep this on the draw against such an aggressive deck. We do have a Fatal Push for their first creature, but then we're not doing anything on turn 2 unless we draw something. I think we're going to mulligan that. Sadly we see another unkeepable hand. Mulliganing to 5 is pretty rough. I'm going to keep this. Going to bottom the Liliana and the Croxer, I think. Taking this much damage from our lands isn't ideal, but Tarmogoyf very good in the matchup against Swift Spear and Soulscar Mage. Less so against Soulscar Mage, I suppose. Okay, Bolt would be a good draw if we could cast it. So yeah, we're gonna slam Tarmogoyf on 2. It's looking like it might be a light up the stage from my opponent. It is indeed. Mountain Lava Dart. Okay, so cast the Lava Dart. Okay, so we're not drawing massively. Well, we've drawn some good cards, but we do have to take some damage from this Goyf, from these peat lands to play the Goyf. But we do now have a decent blocker. Oh my crikey. Okay, well, I mean, it does at least unlock the some of the spells in our hand. Now we can't block here because my opponent will flashback Lava Dart to kill my Tarmogoyf. And given that we can never cast another Tarmogoyf, don't really think that's what we want to be doing. Really need a land there. Just going to bolt this now. Yeah, I mean, more lands gets us in it. You know, any untapped land now means that we can cast Seasoned Pyromancer, Flame Slash. That's annoying. Okay. Okay, so that's a land which lets us cast Seasoned Pyromancer. So we're still in it. Seasoned Pyromancer into Seasoned Pyromancer is good. We get to make 2 tokens here. Yeah, so Can still cast some spells under Blood Moon. Opponent does get Obosh into hand though. Obviously basics are ideal. We'll play the Catacombs. And then, well, maybe we shouldn't have played that. Okay, so we find we find a basic a basic land, but it's really not the one we want. Opponent could kill our Pyrancer here, but okay, here comes Obosh. So double damage for my opponent's odd CMC spells. Yeah, we're really in trouble here now. That Blood Moon doing a lot of work for my opponent. Not really sure what we can draw. We are actually only 2 lightning bolts away from just being dead. Yeah, Renin 6 not really doing anything for us. We can at least cast Renin 6. Do you want to? Yeah, I think we're going to get in with a Seasoned Pyromancer here. Opponent not keen on blocking because we can then make loads of tokens. Okay, opponent bolting us. That will deal us 6 damage. Got 2 damage, and they have the mana to flash it back as well, I think. Okay, Lava Dart, yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, got a bit got by this Blood Moon there. So we'll be fetching basics fairly aggressively in round 2. So we're going to want Weather the Storm and all of our collective brutalities. We're probably Thoughtseize is an interesting one. So I think Renin 6 doesn't really do anything. So we'll cut at least 2 copies for 2 collective brutalities. Crocs is quite hard to cast under a Blood Moon, but he's good. I think we'll cut at least 1 Thoughtseize for a Weather the Storm. And I think another Thoughtseize. Actually, yeah, let's cut all the Thoughtseize because we're going to be trying to fetch around Blood Moon rather than attempting to. Rather than attempting to deal with it from hand. So we'll bring in EE, and I think a Plague Engineer is probably fine. Yeah. Okay, so could consider bringing in Cleansing Wildfire, given that it is it's not the worst. Cleansing Wildfire castable under Blood Moon, and can fetch us a basic land. We'll be on the play here. So looking for some ways to fetch basics. Either that or a very aggressive start. We can't keep this. Too many, well, a handful of 3 drops is not where you want to be against this deck. I am going to keep this. We've got a basic in hand, we can fetch more basics, and we have a collective brutality. So I think we're just going to get rid of a fetch land. Yeah. No, we'll get rid of the Blackleaf Cliffs, I think. I mean, my opponent could side out their Blood Moons, but okay. So I think here, do we want to fetch? I think I'm going to just fetch a Blood Crypt here, because then we can fetch the 2 other basics out with these 2. So basic Forest is more important because we can cast can cast Bloodbraid Elf, Wrenn and 6, etc. under a Blood Moon. Okay, Firebolt's this looking like a light up the stage. Maybe we should have Collective Brutality in the last turn. Okay, opponent doesn't hit amazingly well with their light up the stage. So we get Forest. Okay, so we find Inquisition. That's pretty good. So we'll play a Catacombs. Inquisition my opponent. And then we'll think about Collective Brutalitying as well. Okay, yeah, so here we'll take the Bone Crusher Giant. Just because it's a 2-for-1. And then we'll go and get a Swamp. Collective Brutality, we're going to escalate. Got a spare land. We'll take a light up the stage. We just want to run my opponent out of cards. We are short on cards ourselves, obviously. Okay, opponent puts Obosh into hand. EE. Play a land. So we know that my opponent's got Obosh, Bolt, I think a Mountain. Do we cast EE on 1? Could cast it on 3, which deals with Blood Moon, but we're fairly insulated against the Blood Moon. Or do we just hold it? I think we'll just hold it for now. Really need to find a Tarmogoyf for Bloodbraid Elf. Liliana would be good. Opponent got 6 cards in hand. Yeah, we'd like a Bloodbraid Elf, really. Mountain's not ideal. We're at serious risk of just dying to this Obosh here. Really gonna need something to kill that. Although to be fair, our options are limited. Okay, opponent going for Soulscar Mage here. I think we're going to hold the Bolt in case we draw another one. Okay, a little bit punished for our line there. We'll play E on 1. I think we're going to try and cash that in this turn. Okay, opponent got Obosh. So I think we definitely need to Pyromancer next turn. Given that we're going to be discarding anyway, and we can't, I think we're going to just bolt the Soulscar Mage, keep the engineered explosives around. Yeah, we've got one. My opponent's got 3 cards in hand, which is pretty. Inquisition. Yeah, I think we'll Inquisition my opponent. They will probably Lightning Bolt us. Oh, blimey. So I think we need to take. It's either Bolt or light up the stage. If we take Bolt, our opponent may struggle to. This is 6 damage with that, but my opponent would just. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Bolt here. It's just so much damage. Okay, so we find Liliana, so that is a good hit there. So we will get to... We are going to take 6 from this Obosh. So I'd imagine it'll be flame slash attack and then light up the stage. Okay, so we're going down to 11 here. And then there's going to be a light up the stage. Blood Moon. Not the worst. Oh, Season Pyromancer is pretty bad for us. Oh, that's really bad actually, because now we can't. Now we can't. Liliana. Ah, that's really good. Okay, so Bolt, Season Pyromancer, Liliana. Edict the Obosh. And now we're not in too bad shape. We've got an EE on 1. We're at 11. Just get rid of the Catacombs. Opponent can Blood Moon us, but given that we're top decking... Oh, my opponent finds another Seasoned Pyromancer, which is really rough. Wouldn't be surprised to see them. Well, maybe Blood Moon's not that good. Okay, Colagan's Command. So, trouble is I suppose we could crack the EE. And then Colagan's Command. But it's a bit awkward because I do want to kill the Liliana. I do want to uptick Liliana, but we can't do everything here. So I think we're just gonna wait. Or we could crack engineered explosives. My opponent sacrifices the relic. We Colagan's Command to get back Seasoned Pyromancer and kill this. And then it does get rid of their Seasoned Pyromancer as well. And then we can... But then we can't play Seasoned Pyromancer, so we can't uptick Liliana anyway. Or we could just kill this and then pretty much empty my opponent's hand, but then we're top decking as well. And they've got the relic. This is difficult. I think I'm going to go for the EE line. I don't know if this is right. But it does at least... Oh, I suppose maybe this is wrong. Oh, no, this is fine. Yeah, I was thinking that this, I just don't know, bit of a brain fart, thinking this was the same as relic. Okay, so exile's a card, so we'll just exile a land. So I'd imagine my opponent will cash in the relic. Okay, so return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Deal 2 damage to their Pyromancer. So we could have them discard here, but we want to kill this Seasoned Pyromancer. It protects the Liliana. And it means that their Seasoned Pyromancer gets exiled, so they can't make the tokens. Okay, I don't know if that was right. I think that's okay because Season Pyromancer is going to be better than a random draw, you must think. There's another relic. Okay, opponent desperately searching for stuff to do by the look of it. Yeah, it did kind of waste our engineered explosives, but let's see what my opponent has. So yeah, they have kept Blood Moon in, so that's worth noting. So we're going to want to keep fetching out these basics. Okay, opponent firebolting our Liliana to get off the field and passes back to us. We draw Stomping Ground, which isn't amazing. Might as well play it. Yeah, cast our Season Pyromancer to draw 2 cards. Okay, there's some pretty good cards. We're going to play Tarmogoyf as a 2/3. And pass the turn. So yeah, some good draws from us there. Soulscar Mage is a good draw for my opponent. And gets to kill the Goyf as well. And they do they have a Blood Moon, but we can cast Croxer under a Blood Moon, so that's not too bad. We need to draw some stuff really. So let's cast this Croxer. Which will make my opponent discard their last card. Or bolt us in the face. Okay. A little bit surprised they choose to bolt the Season Pyromancer there, given that we can make the tokens. So we've got a lot of good draws. Got all our basics out. Okay, so we're going to make the tokens now and then we can decide what to do. So, this is interesting. We either go for the double, we're definitely blocking one, I think. It's tempting to block another one, although Firebolt is a sorcery. If we block with both and my opponent has a spell, they get to kill both of our elementals. But I think it's worth the risk here. I think make them have it. Because if there's no spell and we get to get this Pyromancer off the Soulscar Mage off the field. Yeah, they do have a spell. Okay, oh, it's a good one as well. Yeah, that's pretty good for my opponent. So we're going to need something pretty good in return. So we're looking for Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah, Liliana's okay. It at least kills a thing. They'll get rid of the Soulscar Mage, one would imagine. So we need them to have a few lousy draws now. Mountain is a lousy draw. I suppose they've got Firebolt in the bin, which does kill us next turn. Okay, Tarmogoyf's good because it blocks. Yeah, we're dead to a lot of things now, though. Dead to Lightning Bolt. Not dead to that. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to block here, I think. Okay, trophy's pretty good. So we'll edict my opponent. Sadly, we... Oh, that was an error. I errored here because I'm going to be trophying one of these anyway. I'm going to have to take 2 damage from this Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, that was really bad. I've just taken 2 damage. That could be the difference between winning and losing, obviously. Yeah, that's just a poor sequence from me. And if my opponent's drawn Bolt, we'll pay for it. So we should have trophied the Soul Scar Mage and then edicted the Bone Crusher Giant. Yep, and we pay for it there with a Lightning Bolt to the face. So yeah, we were drawing pretty good stuff as well. Yeah, that's a shame. That's yeah, my bad entirely. We were still pretty far behind, but next turn, Kargan's Command, get back Goyf. Play Goyf, or we could play Croxer. Yeah, we'd have been in it. We'd have been at 2 life, so still a long way to go. But it gives us draws at Weather the Storm or whatever. But there we go. Bit unfortunate there. Bit of silly sequencing at the end, but hopefully do better for round number 2. Okay, round number 2 will be on the play. Right, this is this is a hand that I'll keep and hope we're against a creature deck. We'll leave with Black Leaf Cliffs here because we're not currently playing anything on turn 2. Okay, Forest. Could be anything. Leading on basic Forest. Okay, Red and 6 is a nice draw. Yeah, it's a really nice draw. So we'll go and grab Overgrown Tomb. Having to shock, but that's not too bad. So basic Forest, what are we expecting? Force of Negation. Okay, I was not expecting that from my opponent. So get rid of Ice Fangs. This is Bant control of some sort. Okay, we draw another Bolt, which isn't amazing. So we'll try for the Liliana. Can't have another Force, surely. Yeah, we'll just make my opponent sacrifice a creature here. Don't really want them having more mana than we need. Yeah, I was not expecting that when they led on a basic Forest. I suppose that's part of the reason they led on basic Forest. Castle Ardenvale. Okay, Stoneforge Mystic. Going and grabbing Batterskull. Okay, so this is Bant sort of creature-y stuff. Right, so here I'm gonna play Verdant Catacombs and we're gonna discard the Peatland. Now the reason here is I think that they're running Ephemerate. So when I bolt this Stoneforge Mystic and if they go to cast Ephemerate, we need to be able to bolt the Stoneforge in response. Okay. Liliana's obviously good against things like Tusky. Teferi Time Reveler. Sure. So probably depends what they do. If they tick down, we're definitely bolting now. Opponent's searching for land by the look of it. Okay, so we'll go and get a Blood Crypt here. And then we're going to be bolting this to Fairy. Baron Moor, not too bad, so bolt the Teferi. yeah, we'll cycle this Barrenmore, I think. Oh, the Liliana. That's a fairly straightforward discard, I think. Okay, so opponent's got Batterskull, one unknown in hand. The two unknowns following their draw step. Could be Jace. Shocking in, but look at it. Could be Toski. Three mana, 4 mana. It is Toski, but it doesn't have haste, so we can just edict that with Liliana. Make my opponent sacrifice a creature. I think we're going to keep this land. Might want to discard it to Liliana next turn. Okay, take up. Get rid of a Bloodstained Mire. Opponent discards Batterskull there. Guess my opponent really wants a land so they can start making tokens to threaten my Liliana. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely Inquisition. Yeah, we'll Inquisition first. Because we don't want my opponent to discard a 1 or 2 mana spell, and then we can't Inquisition anything. Okay, so given that these don't really do much, I think we're going to get rid of the sword for now, and then check up. Opponent ditches Force of Negation. Yeah, we just don't. I don't know. I think sword is a good way back into it for my opponent if they manage to find a land or a flash creature and then sword. Okay, we haven't found many spells, but we'll just keep ticking Liliana up. Saving this bolt for an Arden Vale token. Opponent's left with a Remand in hand. This Liliana doing some serious work. Another Inquisition, so I would imagine my opponent will Remand this. Yeah, they do. So yeah, we'll Inquisition again. It's probably just... I'm not sure. So they've got Force, and they did keep a land in hand. Do we tick up and go for the ultimate, or do I hold on? So if we tick up, make my opponent discard their land, they can never then keep counter spells in. Yeah, I think we're fine to do that. Maybe this is wrong, but I might as well bolt my opponent first. Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got some heavy hitters we can find. Yeah, Colican's Command is definitely one of them. Although we have no creatures in the bin, which is a little troubling. We've not played any creatures this game. I mean, we might as well cash in the... Yeah, normally you're excited to see Colican's Command, but here. So we've got Liliana ready to ultimate. Whether we do it right away. Yeah, I think we do now. Or we could just... No, we don't want to tick up. I'm just going to ultimate. My opponent's kind of short on lands. They found something, maybe. Oh no, they just... Okay, so I'll do that. And... So either way, that cuts them off a colour. So now the question is, do we think it's worth getting in for 3? I don't think so here. So I think we're just going to pass. So we don't want my opponent to have something like a remand or a force of negation, and then able to counter our spell. And I think that's worth the worth the sacrifice of the attack with Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah, okay. So we hit Goif and then that gets the job done. Okay, so this is like Squirrel Blade, I think it's called. So what are we interested in here? So I think we want the Plague Engineers because that kills Trotsky. Thought Seizers are probably fine. Run and 6, good. Yeah, we kind of want all this stuff. I don't think there's anything else we're really interested in. Deglamor's interesting against the swords, but I don't think we need that. Bolt's good. Is it cutting discard? Maybe it's cutting a couple of Inquisitions. Something like that. Yeah, do we want EE? Yeah, I think EE is not the worst. It can kill the swords, kills tokens if they're running them. Yeah, something like that. Let's go with that. This hand's odd. If we draw a land in the first few draws, this is really good. I mean, it does have 2 Assassin's Trophies. I think we'll risk it. Yeah, maybe this is a loose keep. But if we draw a fetch land off the top, that's really strong. I mean, yeah, any red land makes this hand really good. EE, not really what we want to see, but it's not too bad. We're going to play the peat land so that if we draw a red land, we can play Wrenn and 6 next turn. Okay, there. That's really good. So we'll go and grab. Could be Stomping Ground here. Seeing as we've got another black in hand. I mean, ideally it won't matter because we'll be able to get the Verdant Catacombs back. Okay, Wrenn and 6 resolves. I would imagine my opponent probably has Veil of Summer. Okay. Right, Inquisition. Interesting. I'm just going to get a Swamp. Bit wary of my life total. Yeah, I think we'll fire off the Inquisition now. I'm fully expecting Veil of Summer here. Could just be a counter spell. Looks like it might be Force. Oh, Spell Queller. Sure. Okay, so how much do we care about Spell Queller? Like, I don't think that well. If they go next turn Toski, attack with this, draw a card. That's not great for us. Next turn we. I kind of want to trophy this. Yeah, I think we're going to trophy this. I think doing it now, like if they want to force this, it's fine. We get to Inquisition my opponent. Oh, okay, my opponent just has not very much. Take a path. Say go. Yeah, I mean it protects the Ren and 6. Another Catacombs. Maybe let's get let's get a tap Blood Crypt here. Get back a Catacombs. Play Croxer. Opponent could path in response to the trigger, but I think at this point we're fine with that. Yeah, and then they have to discard their last card. We gain a land out of it. We'll go and get the mountain because we can fetch basic forest if we need to here, and then we can sacrifice the peat land and start drawing 2 cards a turn. And this Ren and 6 could just win us the game. Okay, this could. Okay, Veil of Summer, sure. Doesn't give you. A little bit surprised my opponent. Well, no, I guess Veil of Summer's fine there. How much do you want to play E? No, I think that's fine. Just pass the turn. Teferi? Sure. Opponent does draw a card with it. Okay, so we're gonna do Colligan's Command first because we kind of want to ultimate this Ren and 6 eventually. Probably should have played a land there to play around Mana Leak. Yeah, I think we're fine. Just drawing now. Start drawing 2 cards a turn. I think there's a little bit of mis-sequencing there, but that's fine. And then next turn, if they can't deal with this Ren and 6, we can just start looping Colligan's Command every turn. Might as well do it. Oh no, my opponent has no cards in hand. So let's play this Ren and 6. We'll cycle this Baron Moor. Buy back the Baron Moor. And then we're going to Colligan's Command my opponent every draw step. Yep, and that draws the concession. Ren and 6 proving totally amazing there, as is often the case. Yeah, good to get the win there. We'll see you back again for round number 3. Okay, welcome to round number 3. We'll be on the play here. And the hand, ooh. I was about to say the hand is very good. I think they're going to keep it. Again, similar to the last time, any fetch land is really good here. Any green land at all, to be fair. See what my opponent's working with. Cap 7. Okay, so it is a Island Mountain Plains, so Jeskai control. So we could take the force and in that we're trying to cast our planeswalkers. We could take Jace because Jace is what kills us. We can try and make them miss lands. I think we're going to take the. I mean, force is still a 2-for-1. I think we're going to take Jace here. Like, I think we're okay with my opponent 2-for-1ing themselves if they want to count. If they want to counter our Ren and 6. So we'd really like to see a green land off the top. No, don't get there. Tad unfortunate. Opponent got lots of nice cards. One turn too late, but we are. What are we going to go for? I think, given that we've got 2 Lilianas, I think we'll go for a Liliana. Because if this gets forced, we can play another one, obviously. They may just let it resolve. No. Okay, so they get rid of Shark Typhoon. Okay, so they can't force anything else. Unless, of course, they found another force. They have missed their land, which is obviously pretty rotten for them. So now we're going to go for Ren and 6. If we hit a land, we can... If we can fade a counter spell, we can... Okay, opponent found Mana Leak. But we've got a duplicate Ren and 6. So my opponent finds a land, they will have access to a counter spell. Okay, red land, they don't have access to Archmage's Charm. We find another land. I think here though we're going to want to go Ren and 6 Goyf. Save the Bloodbraid for a turn where my opponent hasn't. Let's go Ren and 6, I think. Because we're hopeful that my opponent... my opponent found another Mana Leak. But this does mean we can cast our Tarmogoyf as well. So we do have to be a little wary of my life total. Given that they're Jeskai. We know the entire contents of my opponent's hand. But we do want to be able to cast Croxer, potentially. Let's go and get a Stomping Ground, we'll risk it. Cast this Tarmogoyf. Say go. Okay, opponent finds their 4th land. So they do now have access to counterspell, and they can also snap Mana Leak. So let's just go Bloodbraid Elf here. Now that we know they've got a counterspell, we're just trying to have as many double spell turns as we can. Okay, so our fetching kind of pays off, although we have drawn another fetch land. That's kind of an ideal hit there. Opponent's got quite a lot of choice. Okay, so deciding that Behold the Multiverse is the way to go. They put 2 on the bottom, maybe probably digging for more lands. Okay, so they discard a steam vents. We do get to hit them for 8 here. And then I think we'll play the land and pass. Okay, so they got Snapcaster Mage, Archmage's Charm in hand. So given that our 2 creatures are potentially lethal, I think we attack first here, let my opponent... Okay, Lightning Bolt's a really nice draw. So we'll attack. If my opponent goes snap... Okay, they have a Bolt, which is fine. Okay, so they're taking 5. So here we're just going to try and unearth Croxer, and then we're going to hold up the Bolt. So red, black, black. 1, 2, 3. We don't. I suppose we don't want to make Goyf smaller. No sorcery in my opponent's yard. So I think we'll get rid of the Thoughtseize. I mean, Goyf's lethal anyway. So my opponent is at 3, so it's a kind of bait and switch, a kind of a, yeah, not bait and switch, what's it called, like just a waiting game now. We're waiting for my opponent to tap out. Okay, so we know they've just got Archmage's Charm in hand, so it's going to go ahead and bolt them. Yeah, obviously waiting there until they couldn't counter it. Okay, so Jeskai control. So Fatal Push is out. Collective Brutality is probably in. What else are we considering? So we could consider Ashiok. Bolt's not amazing, but it's not too bad. It does kill Jace. They're running Fetch Land, so they're not the Blood Sun version. I think that's probably fine to leave it like that. Bit of a weird hand, but I think we'll keep it. Again, it's got a lot of good stuff in. So yeah, sometimes we choose to take out Goyfs against these matches, but I don't think our sideboard is as tuned to fighting control as it sometimes is. Okay, opponent looks like they've got an opt. Could be a spell pierce, but I doubt it. Okay, so now we have the choice between playing Baron Moor or the greedy line of cycling it and trying to hit a land. If we play Baron Moor, it means we can cast something next turn. I think we're just going to play it. I think it's lower risk here. We can't play Ren and 6 next turn. This means whatever we draw, but we can play Goyf or Croxer. Our hand is pretty good against control. They put it on top. Opponent could be playing something like Rest in Peace. So definitely going to go ahead and cast something here. Oh, we could have taken the the greedy line, but that's fine. I think Goyf wouldn't die to a bolt, so I think we're just going to do... Could get Stomping Ground here. Yeah, let's get Stomping Ground. And then do we play Croxer or do we play Tarmogoyf? They did mulligan, so I think I want to play Croxer here. Although maybe Goyf was better. Although if they play Teferi Time Raveler, if they play Teferi Time Raveler, then Goyf is a pretty bad shout. Okay, we get a Snapcaster Mage out of my opponent's hand, which isn't too bad, obviously. Okay, opponent declining to fetch at end step, so looking like they're digging for lands now. Yeah, so they put one on top with opt. So got 4 cards in hand. Okay, so we are finding the lands. So if my opponent has Mana Leak, I kind of like just playing a land, and then whenever we can, Kolaghan's Command, get back Croxer, they discard, and just try and make my opponent discard loads of cards. But I think maybe that's not the best here. Maybe we just go for Liliana. So if we go for Liliana and they have Mana Leak, how bad is that for us? Then next turn we can Renin 6 and Croxer. So next turn we can double spell. I think that's fine. Do we just go and get basic swamp here? No, I think we're going to get Blood Crypt. I'm expecting this to be countered, but my opponent does have to have Mana Leak here. If they've got Force of Negation, that's totally fine. It's not ideal, but well, they do have Mana Leak, so it looks like my opponent's playing quite a lot of Mana Leaks. But next turn we can potentially double spell. Or we can double spell. Yeah, we've got a lot of gas in hand. Opponent's still short on lands. Okay, Relic's a little bit annoying. Okay, so now it's very tempting. I think we Croxer then Renin 6. Although Croxer Renin 6, then we could. Croxer Renin 6 makes them discard one of their cards. So they definitely cannot force our Ren. How much do we care if they force our Ren? Unfortunately, we can't quite get Croxer out this turn. Okay. So if they force our Ren, that's pretty bad, but we will lose Croxer to this Relic. So opponent does have a Foretold card, which is the Behold, one would imagine. We could go Kolaghan's Command, kill the Relic, you discard, but then I think we want to double spell this turn. I think if they want to Force of Negation our Renin 6, I think we're fine with that. Let's go and get the Catacombs back. Okay, we'll exile a Bloodstained Mire. Okay, and then, so we could just play the Tomb here. Yeah, let's play the Tomb. And then that way we can potentially keep a land for Renin 6 if my opponent sacrifices the Relic proactively. Okay, there's the Behold. So I think my opponent's still digging for lands. They put one on top, one on the bottom. So there's a land there. So I think our position's okay here. Wouldn't mind finding a peat land or something to solidify further. Okay, so here we'll play out the land and then attack with Tarmogoyf. And then I think we'll fetch. So we could play Croxer, and then if my opponent tries to exile it, buy it back with Colligan's command, which isn't the worst. Okay, looks like my opponent might be going for it now, which is actually fine with us, because then we can Colligan's command, buy back Croxer, which I think is worth doing now. So again, if this gets forced, we're not too bothered. Opponent opting, potentially looking for a force, I suppose. They put one on the bottom. Okay. So we did fairly well out of that. Then we can just play this Croxer, make my opponent discard a card, and then grows the Goyf. Opponent discards Force of Negation. So they did have the force, decided not to use it there. Opponent has missed lots of land drops. This turns, I guess it's turn 6. They had to dig quite hard to find them. This could be Jace. It is Jace. Probably going to bounce the Goyf. No, they are brainstorming, so they possibly have Path in hand. They haven't got any white mana at the moment. Okay, so we get to kill the Jace with our Tarmogoyf or with our Bloodbraid Elf. So let's do this. This makes the Goyf bigger. So yeah, do that and that. We would like to play another Tarmogoyf, please. Can't think of anything my opponent can have that saves their Jace here. So we're just going to tick up. And yeah, we're going to play this. Kind of insulates us against the sweeper a little bit, this Croxer. So we can get some cards in the graveyard and try and cast it, escape it. Opponent's at 9, so we've got lethal on board at the moment. Opponent discards Archmage Charm, so they've got some good stuff in hand. They may have Supreme Verdict. Okay, they have a Relic. That does save them for at least a turn, because it stops our Goyfs having any power. Still missing lands, my opponent. Okay, so unfortunately I don't think this wooded foothills can now go and get anything. But it does grow the goyf. Oh, that was silly because I probably should have played the Raging Ravine. Opponent could have a Snapcaster Mage. So we'll tick up, but we're not going to go and get Wooded Foothills back. Opponent got 4 cards in hand. Engineered explosives on 2. Sure, I mean that doesn't save them from oh no, yeah, it kills the Renin 6, doesn't it? Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, sure. So maybe we should have, yeah, we possibly should have pinged my opponent there. Okay, so Lightning Bolt, that's an interesting one. We're just saving that. Because my opponent could have Force here. So we're just, yeah, we're just going to be very patient. Now you might see it as slow rolling, but it, you know, it really isn't. You know, playing around my opponent's Force of Negation here, but essentially we're just going to attack them with one thing a turn until we get there. Okay, yeah, a convincing victory there against Jeskai Control. My opponent was stuck with lands for a bit, but yeah, Renin 6 really proving its worth. I've seen some decks going up to 4 copies of Renin 6 and then running more of these type lands. Maybe something to consider. But yeah, another good victory. So we'll see you for round number 4. Okay, round number 4. I think we'll keep this. It's got a bit of everything. If one of these bolts was a discard spell, it would make me a lot happier. But yeah, this hand's good against some decks. I was going to say we don't really want to see Tron, but we do have the trophy. It is Tron. Okay, so I think end of turn I'm actually going to bolt my opponent here. We'll go and get Stomping Ground. Bolt them. We'll save the other bolt for a potential Karn, but I think we do want to be aggressive here. That's a bit interesting. Do we Inquisition? I would be very interested to see if anyone's got any opinions on this. I've been in this situation before. I think given that we've got the trophy, I'm going to get a threat down. We need to start beating down. We can't afford to give my opponent loads and loads of time. You know, Inquisition's good here if they're on a Sylvan Scrying plan. Stirrings. Find a power plant. Expedition maps. They are going to have Tron next turn. I suppose unless we find Colligans. Now, what do we think of this? So we've got the choice. We can Inquisition my opponent and then trophy a land, or we can Colligans command. Given that they found this from that, I think they probably have another Tron land in hand. So I think we're going to Inquisition. Okay, so they do have the tower in hand. Okay, so they are going to get to All Is Dust at some point. Okay, so we'll let them draw a card, and then we're going to trophy the power plant. I guess we should have done this. Oh no, it is in their draw step, which is fine. I suppose this does give them an extra mana this turn, but trophy the power plant. Yeah, so Assassin's Trophy there. We're running 3 in the main at the moment, and it's just so good at dealing with stuff like, you know, it's just when you can use it to destroy a Tron land, you just feel so good. Okay, Season Pyromancer. So we're getting sacrifices. So it's sacrifice. So so yeah, we're gonna just hold up here, and then so opponent plays a tower. We're gonna get all this dusted, one would imagine. Oh, it looks like it's even worse. Opponent found Ugin. Okay, so we can kill the Ugin, which is what we're going to do. So this. That was a good draw from my opponent. Okay. So I wouldn't mind finding an untapped land here, so we can kind of do everything. Okay, so we do find it. We are going to get, obviously all is dusted, but I think that's, you know, not much we can do there. So we'll bolt the Ugin, and we'll cast Seasoned Pyromancer, draw 2 cards. This card's really impressed as well. Okay, Bloodbraid Elf, that's not too bad. All this dust, is it? Oh no, it's Worm Coil Engine as well. Opponent keeps finding the bombs. And we do not. Trophy. There's not much point in trophying a Tron land. The trouble is we're going to have to grind through so much Worm Coil Engine. I think we're just trophying the Worm Coil. You know, my opponent's going to get to all his dust probably anyway next turn. And then, yeah, I think we're attacking for the 3. Given that my opponent's going to make a sacrifice Bloodbraid Elf anyway. Yeah, opponent found good card after good card, but that is often the way with Tron. Sylvan Scrying here, they could have found Ulamog. Oh, okay, so they can Sanctum Ugin, cast all his dust, and then find Ulamog. So, what are our outs here? So, yeah, so opponent's going to all his. Oh, no, it's Khan, the Great Creator. Not sure what they'll go and get here. Okay, they're ticking up. I don't agree with this. I think they were so far ahead. Now Bloodbraid into something like, oh, they're attacking as well. I think we take the damage here. Because now something like Bloodbraid into Thoughtseize. Or Bloodbraid into Colligan's Command. All really good. Okay, so we've got a Goif. It's not what we wanted to draw really. We needed like a real heavy hitter there. We will attack Khan. Yeah, my opponent might have, I haven't played enough Tron to know the ins and outs, but I would have thought it was all is dust, search up Ulamog. You can probably still play Khan as well. Yeah, still play Khan, and then tick down, get something else we can't deal with. But as it was, it gave us an opportunity to get back in it with something like a Bloodbraid Alpha or Colligan's Command. Okay, opponent does go and get Ulamog. What are they going to do with Khan? So yeah, now we really do need kind of Bloodbraid, I suppose. What's my opponent's getting? Okay, so they've got some big cards in the. Yeah, okay, we just draw land. Yeah. So yeah, that's the often the way it goes against Tron, which is rather frustrating. But we do have some sideboard games, so we've got all of these that are good to bring in. Cleansing Wildfire for obvious reasons. Deglamour hits, especially if they're on the Calm the Great Creator plan. And Ashiok can be quite good as well. Obviously don't want fatal pushes. Ren and 6 does nothing. Season Pyro can be a bit slow. Do we want this many bolts is the question. I think we'll cut a bolt and go with that. Yeah, Ashiok turns off all their maps and scryings and bits and bobs. Yeah, this hand is fine. So we get to Tarmogoyf on 2 and then Cleansing Wildfire on 3. Or we could Cleansing Wildfire on 2, Liliana on 3. Opponent's mulliganed to 6. So, Power Plant, Sphere. Inquisition again. Do we? We've got this choice again. I think I might do Inquisition this time. Inquisition Bolt this turn, but then we are gonna have to Cleansing next turn. I think we'll go for it. Okay, so opponent hasn't actually got many. So if we take the Stirrings, or do we take the map? So if my opponent misses a land altogether, it's best to take this. Yeah, I'm going to take the Stirrings. Might save the Bolt. And then Stirrings also plays better with our Cleansing Wildfire. Okay, opponent sacking the Sphere. If my opponent misses a Tron land here. Okay, they play the map. Ah, they do have Urza's Mine. So we don't know what they've found. So I think we'll play this. So they've got 3 cards in hand. Okay, so we know that they've got 3 cards. No, we don't. We know they've got 2 copies of Khan the Great Creator in hand. So we either Cleansing Wildfire, a land, or we risk it and play Liliana. I think we're going to go with the Cleansing Wildfire plan. Yeah, so my opponent played as is mine last, so we'll hit that, and then we'll save that. We'll keep this land up in case we find a discard spell from Cleansing Wildfire. Good that Cleansing Wildfire brings in the land tapped. So yeah, that's not a bad hit because we can cycle that. So opponent's got one unknown. Trouble is, yeah, we're just not pressuring my opponent. Goif's a 3/4. Okay, cracking that. Don't think we're bolting here. I think we need to save that for Khan the Great Creator. Okay, 2 cards in hand for my opponent, so we'll go ahead and cycle Barrenmore. Croxer. Okay, so actually here I think we're going to now play 2 Goifs. Go and get a Blood Crypt. Obviously this really hurts if my opponent has all his dust, but I think we have to go for it here. So now if my opponent plays Khan, we've got an answer. Could do without them having another Tron land, especially not the Tron land they're missing. We know that they've got 2 copies of Urza's. We know that they've got 2 copies of Khan in hand. If they find a land, they can play Khan. We do have the Bolt, and we have 2 Tarmogoyfs. Okay, they do have a land. So that's Khan. They could tick up, but yeah, not worth it. So do they go and get? They could go and get some of that Worm Coil that we just can't deal with. They get Tormod's Crypt, sure. Okay, so that would make Goyf a okay, Colligan's Command is nice. So if they sacrifice Tormod's Crypt against us, it'll be a sorcery, so Goyf will be big enough. If they go against themselves, Goyf won't be big enough. So, but how much do we care about that? I think we can just do this actually, because we get some damage in on my opponent, and then we know that my opponent's got another Khan, so if they want to play that, that's fine. Because they can't go and get another thing here. So we could bolt the Khan. We could have bolted my opponent. But I think here we're just going to play Liliana. And then we can tick up, discard Croxer. Hope my opponent doesn't find the next Tron piece. Okay, opponent loses Dismember. Okay, so we've got my opponent on a 2-turn clock. That's a star. Yeah, obviously, if they want to tick up their Khan and then just play, you know, if they want to play the Khan, we don't really mind. Okay, opponent draws a card. 4 copies of Urza's Tower in their library. Okay, Okay, so how much do we want to bolt my opponent here, or bolt the Khan? I think we're fine bolting Khan here. It grows the Tarmogoyfs, uses our mana. Okay, Kolaghan's command. So I think we're going to tick up. Okay, these Goyfs are 6/7s. Don't think we want to play Croxer yet. I think we'll save that in case my opponent finds something like All Is Dust. Got 2 lethal threats. That's a star. Opponent looking for the Tron land, I guess. Okay. They find the Tron land, that's scary. Could be Ugin, which would be pretty awful. 2, 4, 7. They have got enough mana for Ugin. Okay, so they haven't got that. So if they, it's Khan, so I think they're going to go and get Ensnaring Bridge. But then we do have the Kolaghan's command to take care of that. Obviously very good. Okay, Ensnaring Bridge. Should always be on the radar. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and target player discards a card, destroy target artifact. Okay, so we get there against Tron there. Would we like to change anything? Don't think so. I think we'll just run it back. Really looking for now discard and Cleansing Wildfire in the opener, I suppose. Okay, so this hand obviously good against a lot of decks, but I think we have to take a mulligan against Tron. Sadly, this hand also not good. My opponent kept 6. I think we do have to mulligan here. Okay, this is fine. We'll keep this. I think we're going to get rid of Goyf and Peat land here. Or is it Verdant Catacombs? Let's get rid of Peat land. Just got to hope that we're going to try and make this a Liliana game. Goyf, while it is a threat, we're going for trophy on turn 2. So right, we're going to Inquisition. Could Thoughtseize there. Mine, can't. Oh, okay, so we should have probably Thoughtseized there. Okay, so opponent has got mine, which I'd imagine they play. Okay, they play the Peat land, and it looks like it's going to be Sylvan Scrying, which is, oh no, Ancient Stirring's fine. Tower, so they've got mine. They're looking for Power Plant. That pause potentially. Okay, so they found Ugin. Okay, so it depends what we draw this turn now. Another Thoughtseize, so now, yeah, okay, so we're just going to double Thoughtseize, I think. Okay, so they've got 2 copies of Urza's Mine. So the first thing we're going to take is Khan, the Great Creator. We'll go and get an Overgrown Tomb. Second thing is obviously, it's probably Wormcoil Engine. If they find the Tron land, we've got the trophy, so Wormcoil Engine's just so much easier for them to cast. So they play the mine. So if we, okay, we find Croxer. So I think here we're just going to hit the tower in their upkeep or in their draw step. We are short on land. Actually, I'm going to hit it in upkeep just because I want to give my opponent as little chance to draw Veil of Summer as possible. Okay, opponent decides to draw a card, which is fine. So we really want an untapped land. Okay, they found another tower, which is annoying. Well, if this is the 3rd Tron piece, we're in. Yeah, we just lose the game, I think. That doesn't quite lose us the game, but it's not far because my opponent has to search next turn. Yeah, there's some good draws on my opponent there. Thoughtseize would be good. Okay, a land is fine. So we'll go and grab. Let's go and grab another Blood Crypt probably. Could get Stomping Ground. Let's get Stomping Ground. Play Liliana of the Veil. Sadly, this mulliganing to 5 wasn't great. My opponent next turn will, best case scenario for us is they fetch Tron. Play the land and pass. Worst case, they could top deck the Tron land and just Ugin us this turn, which is what happens. Yeah, that's brutal. Not much we can do against that. My opponent's drawn very well this game. This how it often goes against Tron. We just can't kill them quickly enough. And now we need to top deck all kinds of stuff. So, like a trophy here would be good. Can't think of much else that. I mean, if we we can play Croxer, I suppose. My opponent would have to -2, which we do go for. If my opponent draws just nothing for the rest of the game, we have a very slim chance, essentially. I'd imagine now my opponent goes -3. Depends what they draw, I suppose. And then if they go -3, let's say, there are scenarios we win this game. It includes my opponent drawing a lot of land in a row and me drawing a lot of good stuff. Okay, so my opponent does minus to kill everything. So if we find something like Bloodbraid Elf now, Bloodbraid Elf into Bolt, though it looks like my opponent's found something else. There's a star. Yeah, my opponent goes through their deck at quite a rate. Opponents found something. Looks like they're sacrificing the expedition map. What are they going to go and get? Okay, they get the Sanctum. That's a bit scary. Okay, so yeah, we've got some draws. Well, Liliana's not the worst. It gets whatever's in my opponent's hand out, which is something. It's another Ugin, so yeah. Yeah, my opponent just keeps top decking rubbish. We're in with a chance. We know we need to get this Ugin off the field. Bloodbraid Elf or Bolt or whatever would be. Well, it doesn't now, but. Okay, opponent's just got Sylvan Scrying, so that's fine. Could be Blast Zone. Yeah, Blast Zone. So that does kill Liliana, potentially. So Seasoned Pyromancer, not too bad here. Colligan's Command. So yeah, I think we're going to do this in my opponent's draw step. And then, so we'll shoot Ugin for 2 and make my opponent discard a card. Just trying to keep Ugin from ultimating. See what we make my opponent discard. Hopefully something good. Sphere, so it's a redraw. I would imagine that Ugin bolts Liliana here. It could just bolt me. So yeah, Ugin's at 8. If we kill the Ugin, I think we've got 2 trophies left. That's a shame. Okay, so yeah, we can still, you know, there's still a very slim chance that we win this game. If my opponent draws like, you know, 10 lands in a row, and we hit trophy into Bloodbraid Elf or something. Opponent's just finding maps and things. Don't think they've got anything ultra useful to map for. I suppose they can map for Nurturing Peatland, although that might only be a one-of. Okay, so this is at 10, so they can't ultimate next turn, so we need something that deals with Ugin pretty much now. Ashiok is confirmed to not be it, but we will play it. I suppose they can just, well, yeah, I suppose they can kill it with Ugin. Might mill myself. I guess we can hit Croxer. Yeah, I guess we could hit Croxer. We don't, but we don't hit anything that really helps us either. Depends how greedy my opponent's going to be at ultimating this Ugin. I mean, they can just bolt us here, bolt. You know, if Ugin hits us and then hits us again, we die. Yeah, I think this was fairly close. It was all decided in those kind of turns where my opponent found the Tron land. We had one turn after that to kind of, well, yeah, we would have had one turn, but okay, yeah, my opponent is ultimating. They've drawn 7 cards. I forget they draw 7 cards. This is pretty much game over. Put 7 permanents onto the battlefield. Yeah. I'm clinging onto this percentage chance that my opponent's just drawn 7 lands. I'm sure they've got 7 lands left. Just a worm coil from my opponent, although I guess they might be casting an Ulamog or something. Yeah, they've got something with a cast trigger by the look of it. Could be a walking ballista that would just kill us. Let's hover over this concede game button. Yep, that's going to be enough for us. Okay, so that's often the way it goes against Tron. You know, they can just find a Tron piece off the top or an Ugin, and we just can't kill them quickly enough. But yeah, that's how it goes. See you back again for round number 5, going for the 3 and 2. Okay, round number 5, we will be on the draw. I think we'll go with this. It's we've had a few of these hands where the we're just not quite able to cast Brennan 6 on turn 2. Casting on turn 1 would be good. But if we can find it here, that'll be really good. With Inquisition. Yeah, so if we can find Brennan 6. Okay, so Visionary versus War Master. Visionary is a 1/1 which dies to Brennan 6 potentially, so they do have a collected company, but we'll be taking that with a Thoughtseize. So let's take the War Master as well. It creates a token potentially for Heritage Druid. We would really like to find a green land, untapped green land next. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that was a good draw from my opponent. So now we're going to have to Thoughtseize away the collected company, I think. Well, we do find that, so Fetch, shock, play Renin 6, tick down, kill the Druid, but then Renin 6 dies, or we just go Inquisition, Thoughtseize. I'm leaning towards that. Ping this to death. None of this does anything really. We know they've got an Overgrown Tomb in hand. I think we're going to go the Thoughtseize line. Thoughtseizing first so that Inquisition doesn't miss. Okay, we've gone for that line. So we've left them with just an Overgrown Tomb in hand. Wouldn't mind finding like a Tarmogoyf. Okay, that is a Tarmogoyf. It's a 3/4. So I think we're going to play that first as a means to protect our planeswalkers. So you have to fetch shock, which is a little bit annoying. Gonna get an Overgrown Tomb. There's a Goyf. 4/5 now. Opponent got one card in hand, but if we can play Renin 6 next turn, start pinging off creatures, or we can play Liliana. It's going to be Renin 6 next turn. Kill the Heritage Druid first. Killing this because it can enable a lot of broken turns with Azuri or Elvish War Master. Seen Elves a couple of times. We've got some decent sideboard against it, I think. We've got 2 copies of Plague Engineer and a copy of Engineered Explosives, which is obviously pretty good. And we got more removal spells. No attacks from my opponent. Could have Collected Company in hand. Okay, so we're just going to play red and 6. I mean, this potentially gets blown out by a Collected Company. Opponent doesn't have Collected Company. Because they would have gone for it there and then put a Lord into play. I think we're going to keep this Verdant Catacombs potentially uncracked. Opponent fetching a forest. What have they found? We've got 1 card in hand. Azuri. Okay, so we did well there to kill the Heritage Druid. Okay, so my opponent going for this because they can now regenerate 1. So let's go for blocking here. Yeah, they can regenerate. Yeah, so we really now need to find something that kills Azuri. Blackleaf Cliffs definitely does not kill Azuri. So I'd imagine my opponent sacrifices this. Surprise Elvish Visionary, sure. Not sure why, but okay. We can't really attack. Trouble is, this Azuri is stopping us from saving our Liliana with Tarmogoyf. We need to keep this Verdant Catacombs uncracked in case we draw a Fatal Push for Azuri. 3 mana. Okay, so it's a Elf Lord. Oh, and that creates yeah, we've just got way too much to deal with now. I think okay, well, trophy's a start. Might as well play out all my stuff. So we'll trophy Azuri. Just makes it harder for my opponent to attack. Okay, yeah. Can't regenerate itself. That would be really broken. We'll just tick up Liliana. Pass the turn. So my opponent can't attack as easily now. You know, before they could just swing in with a couple of elves a turn and Azuri would stop them dying to the Tarmogoyf. Let's see what we've... I mean, we just want to draw removal into removal, really. Opponent is going to get to prefect us. Okay, opponent's attacking with everything. I think I like this play. I think my opponent needs to go for it here. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty good. Bloodbraid Elf will be good. Seasoned Pyromancer is very good. I think. Puts a blocker in the way. Potentially draws us into some stuff. Okay, so we'll Edict my opponent. And then, I mean, it's playing Liliana and Edicting is just as good. I don't know if this is going to be enough. I think we're still going to got potentially. My opponent can make a creature, sacrifice the creature, and then they have lethal. because they've got, they attack with everything. Let's make them do it, I suppose. They attack with everything and we can't block enough, sadly. Yeah, Elves, difficult matchup. But we do have some sideboard against it. Okay, opponent just needs to attack with all, really. Yeah, there we go. That would do it. Okay, so sideboarding. So some obvious inclusions being E and Plague Engineer. I think we're going to cut some Inquisitions. I think we can cut a lot of the discard. We probably want Brutality. Brutality fills a few roles here. I think we'll cut the Thought Seizes for it. It can take Collected Company. Yeah, it can take Collected Company. It can kill an elf, so I think that's fine. Don't think we want anything else. Nothing else to bring in, really. So our ideal start is something like turn 1 Bolt or push the thing into turn 2 Ren into turn 3. Well, no, I guess turn 1 Thought Seize, our one-off Thought Seize would be would be good. Turn 2 Ren, kill their thing. Turn 3 Plague Engineer. But we'll see what we find. Yes. We'll take this though. It's got Bolt into Tarmogoyf. Which is obviously pretty fine. Pretty much guaranteed to bolt their turn 1 play. I could see an argument for not bolting one of the weaker turn 1s, like a Elves of Deep Shadow or Llanowar Elves or something. Elvish Mystic. How into bolting that are we? I think we're going to bolt it. We want to use our mana. Anything to slow them down is what we want to be doing. We've got the trophy if we need. Play this, and then we'll just play our Goyf. Now we'd quite like to draw some sort of heavy hitters. Liliana, Ren and 6. Warmaster. Okay, so not great here. I think we're going to have to cycle looking for a bolt or a push. We don't find either. Trouble is that Warmaster's going to start making loads of tokens. But I don't want to so Assassin's. This is where Assassin's Trophy is so bad. If this was Abrupt Decay, we'd be so much more happy. But we'll play Croxer. You know, we're getting not far from the stage where we can escape Croxer. Opponent discards a land. Yikes, that's really good for my opponent. Because now they can untap all these, they can tap these 3 and make 3 mana. They got 5 mana to pretty much dump their hand here. Yeah, that's real good. Is this Collected Company as well? Don't think I could have, well, maybe I shouldn't have lightning bolted that Elvish Mystic. This is turn 3 though. Yeah. I don't really know what we can draw. I guess if my opponent doesn't find a lure, we could draw Plague Engineer, which would kill these 2. Yeah. Engineered explosives would be okay. They do find a lord. Yeah, I think we just lose here, sadly. Yeah, opponent got another 3 mana play as well. So we need to find... oh, we've got 1 removal spell. We find engineered explosives, which we can play on up to 2. I think we do engineered explosives on 2. We could do it on 3, which would kill this and this. But we can do it on 2. 2 kills Tarmogoyf though. We could do it on 0. 3 would kill the Archdruids. We could do it on 0 and then trophy something. A lot of options here. Still a way off. I guess if we play EE, if we play EE on 0, that takes care of these, and then we trophy this. We need to kill this Elvish Warmaster. So I think it's EE on. I think it's play the land, EE on 0, and then trophy this before they can give it. They can overrun. Trophy this. If they've got Veil of Summer, we just concede, I think. And then we can pass the turn. Yeah. Okay, land for my opponent. See what else they got. So Goyf's a decent blocker. Engineered explosives makes it a 4/5. Okay, well, is there any point in... Yeah, I'm going to crack this now. I don't really want to... I want to use the mana in case we find something good. We can actually Croxer, which is cool. Do we do it off Peatland, or do I play a Swamp? I think I want to play Raging Ravine and then cast Croxer. Bit annoying that we have to empty our graveyard for Goyf here, but Goyf's still going to be 3/4. And we do get a 6/6 out of the deal. Okay, it looks like my opponent might just have lands in hand. Do elves run removal? I would imagine they run Fatal Push. Shaman of the Pack, domes us for 5. Bolt is nice. We'll play the land and we'll sacrifice Peatland with it. More lands is not really what we want. So if we attack with Croxer and they don't block, they die? So yeah, I think we're going to attack with Croxer. Because even if they block, so if we attack, they block with the worst elf, which would be something like Heritage Druid. They block here. Heritage Druid dies. We then take 5, 6, 7, 11. We can block. We could block here, and then take 10. We have the bolt as well. Yeah, we'll attack with Croxer. my opponent doesn't block, we can just bolt. If they try and double block, we can potentially bolt a creature. Okay, opponent does choose to block. Okay, they're going all in on this. Okay, so what do we want to kill, I suppose? Oh, we could now bolt. Okay, remember we can bolt an Archdruid, and then we could kill. That would make this 2, 3, 4. So what do we want to kill? I think we want to kill the ones with highest power. So that's going to be 3. That's going to be 3. So if we do this, so we do that. 3, 3. And then, yeah, so we kill both of these and then kill this as well. I think that's fine. Yeah, so we're essentially trading Crocs over 2 creatures there, which is pretty good. And then we have Goyf on the battlefield. Okay, so that's not too bad. Okay, we're destroying forest. So I think we're activating Raging Ravine here. If my opponent wants to trade a creature, I'm happy with that because it lets us cast Croxer quicker. Okay, they're deciding not to, which I don't necessarily blame them for. They've got 9 power. I suppose maybe we shouldn't have done that if it's dead to a lord, but I think we have to start attacking at some point. Oh, I don't find another lot. Oh, it's not Collected Company, is it? Really? Yeah, so we're dead to a lord. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked, but I think that was right. I think we've got to start trying to win the game. You know, there's a lot of dead draws in my opponent's deck. They just need to find something that gives elves +1/+1. I mean, they don't know that we haven't got a push or a bolt, I suppose. Yeah, so that's nothing. Oh, Elvish Warmaster does it. Yeah, Elvish Warmaster wins. I think, because they can, well, they have to tap, they tap these 3. Oh yeah, this taps like so much stuff. Doesn't give them haste. So we don't die here, but we're not far off. That's gross. Yeah. Yeah, that's really annoying. I don't think there's anything that can do it for us now. Trophy, so we can not bring back Crocs. We could bring back Crocs, but we just die to everything. So yeah, GG's. That's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, I think we played that right. I think that was right. Let me know in the comments if you'd have played that slightly differently. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Sadly, we didn't get to cash the league, but yeah, 2-3-3-2, the full-on Jund remit. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't know what changes I'd make going forward. The deck seemed really good against control, kind of mid-range, just king of that kind of stuff. But then against more aggressive ones, it seemed to struggle. So yeah, maybe look at doing something to mitigate that. But let me know if you got any suggestions. Please do subscribe if it's something you've enjoyed. And we'll catch you again for some more mid-range action. Cheers.